Hey guys, today I'm going to give you a studio tour. Recently someone suggested I do a studio tour and I thought, well, it's not all that impressive, it's really just an office, but I've done some things in here that I am pretty pleased with, and maybe some of you could benefit from a little behind the scenes walkthrough. So we'll do it. And actually, it is a good time for me to do it because I'm just about to make some upgrades to this place. And before I show you around, I think it would be interesting to do a little before and after to see how much those things that I'm doing are really gonna make a difference. So actually what you're seeing right now, this is Andrew in the past before the upgrades. So let's go ahead and open an interdimensional portal and we'll consult with Andrew from 2 days from now and see what sort of improvements have been made around this joint. This is called a magic mouse for a reason. Oh, hey there, Andrew. I remember when I looked just like you. You shaved? Yeah, I was starting to look scruffy. Well, I thought you looked amazing. But tell me, before we get into this stuff, what crazy stuff has President Trump done since you were me? Well, I would hate to spoil it for you, and besides, the good people out there are only here to distract themselves from all of that insanity. Yeah, that's very true, and I guess in that case, let's get down to business. As we go back and forth, I'd be curious to know how much of a difference the changes that you've made are making a difference to you folks, the viewers out there. Yeah, that's a good point. Do you guys notice anything different? Let us know in the comments before we spoil the surprise for you, and we'll see if the upgrades that I've made in the last few days have really helped that much. But I think we're good for now, Andrew from the past, if you want to go ahead and... Yeah, definitely do. Sure thing. And we'll see you real soon. I guess we'll be you real soon. Yeah, cool. Well, now that that guy's out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and pick you up. We're gonna go mobile, and I'm gonna show you some of the upgrades that I've been working on. So here is a view of the studio that you have probably not seen before. I'll go ahead and raise the house lights so you can see this place a little bit. This is, I know it's difficult to gauge depth on the camera, but we're looking at about 12 by 12 space, so not a lot of room to work. And it used to be a huge pain to set everything up, to take everything down again, or just to change things up and to get a different type of shot. I'd end up with tripods everywhere back in here, cables, cords, shelving. I had shelving over in this corner. And it was just disorganized and so time consuming to set up for different types of videos. There were many times that I had something to say or talk about, but I wouldn't do it just because it required way too much effort. So I feel like there's 3 big principles that drove the upgrades that I've done here, the updating of this place, and things that I'd wish that I'd had the disciplines and funds, for that matter, to set up like a year ago. But there are 3 principles I tried to follow, and I think any creative person should follow them if they want to set up in a limited home studio. And the principles are: 1, maximize the available space; 2, minimize the clutter; 3, minimize the steps to shoot. So let's talk about maximizing the available space first. As I mentioned, I used to have tripods and cords all over the place back here behind where my desk is, and that made it really hard. This desk here is my creative space, right? This is my stage. This is where I do everything. Obviously, I shoot my talking head videos here, but I also come over to this side from this angle to shoot B-roll of products. And of course, it's also where I do my job, my day job. I sit at this desk and I design stuff. This space has to serve many purposes. And so for that to happen, I've got to be able to move all around this table at any given time without, potentially dying. So these wall mounts, these wall-mounted boom arms have been a godsend for that. They just, they allow me to get lights and the boom mic and even the tripod here where I mount my camera. Put the camera right here on this thing. That allows me to get everything up off the floor, and then when I'm not using them, they're super easy to just, so you just tuck these things away and get them out of your face. I'm not gonna do it now, but I can lift that guy up into the corner and tuck it away even more. I know it's big, but it'll go back there pretty good. I could also mount a tripod head up here for when I do top-down product videos, or just kind of a second shot. But I also have this other light back here. This is the Falcon Eyes. I don't remember how big it is or which one. I'll put all of these products, I will put in the description with affiliate links because I like money, and but I will tell you which of these products I like and which I don't. And this thing's okay, it's fine. This was my key light for the last year and a half or so. In most of my videos, you will have seen this. This is an LED panel that's got a light box, or softbox, sorry, on it. And that was my key light. So anyway, I can mount that up here now too. And instead of this boom mic, and that can be my secondary light. And I do that when DENAE and I are doing our kind of together videos. We've got the key light here and then the secondary light, and that is nice. So anyway, very modular. This mic, by the way, this is the DENAE V mic D3. Super impressive sound. My only issue with it is that I always forget to turn it off. In fact, I think I might have forgotten again. So while we're on the topic of sound, I did recently soundproof this place. You'll notice these awesome panels on the wall either side of that window. They help a lot. And then I've got these windows are massive, really big windows that came with this place. I wouldn't have actually had windows this size in a studio, although they are nice, for when I'm working, when I'm designing stuff, but they're not great when I'm doing talking head videos because that sound would just reverberate off of this whole thing. I can't put sound panels, obviously, so I just put these curtains up. These are supposed to be really good for sound dampening, these ones. You can tell they're new because they're super wrinkly. Now, I used to not think I needed this sort of thing. I also have, you'll notice I've got these sound panels also on the back wall there now. That wasn't there a week ago. I used to feel like I didn't need those because I would use a lapel mic and it wasn't too bad, the reverberation. But again, one of the principles is shorten the steps to setup. And part of that is that a shotgun mic is just easier to work with than a lapel mic, and trying to mic it to the camera or sync it later. I just have this long cable now that stretches all the way around up to the tripod where I record, and that is super nice. It reduces the steps to setup. I also have this super nice rug. It's pretty thick and it soaks up a lot of sound, and it's super comfy on the toes because I work barefoot most of the time. Now back to these swingers, I do want to say one quick thing. This one here is a Neewer. And I like them. They're really sturdy. They do the job well. Like for instance, this one over here, I've got this big, huge D30 light on there, and it's great. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. But this one, this one that I've got my tripod head on, this is by Focus, Phocus. Don't buy these ones. They are flimsy, not sturdy. So I regret that I didn't just get a third of these Neewer. What I might do though is move that one up on this wall up here for my rim light, because the rim light's still on the ground. I haven't gotten that up off the ground yet. And then get a new Neewer to mount the camera on. And this light, as I mentioned, is new and I'm excited about it. This is the Aperture 120 D2. Beautiful light. I'm really excited about it. Gorgeous light. And this light modifier is the Light Dome 2, much praised Light Dome 2. And I put a grid on it that is to help minimize the backsplash of light. I used to get all kinds of crazy reflections back here on my hardware, the metal shelving and everything. I still get some, but it's not as bad with that grid. For my design work as well as my editing, this is my computer. This is a 2018, I think, iMac. It's not the iMac Pro, but it is the best specs for the iMacs, and it is, I have upgraded the RAM to 64 gigs through the last year, a little at a time. Whenever I had a little bit more money, I would just slowly upgrade the RAM.
But one of the biggest problems with this big, huge beast of a computer is getting it back and forth from this table where I work during the day, and anytime I needed to shoot would be moving it over here along with all the peripherals. It wasn't just that it was a big giant iMac with a keyboard and mouse. I also had a dual incremental drives for my working drive and my backup drive that I would have to move every time I wanted to do some filming over here. And that was just a huge pain. So what I've done just recently is I've gotten rid of the two big drives that I used, and I have these Velcro to the back. And they're just the Seagate Slim drives. This one on the left here is my A drive. That's a 2 terabyte drive. That's my working drive that I work all my videos and photos on, my current projects, and that's all incrementally backed up to this 5 terabyte B drive here on the right. And it's just, now it's not so bad. I also have, wireless keyboard and mouse. So easy to move that back and forth from table to the other table to stow it away when I need to film. When I'm done editing photos, by the way, and video, that all gets updated to a Drobo, not in this room, it's in the laundry room where the Wi-Fi hub is, or the router or whatever. And that's a 5-bay RAID drive, Drobo, that, that's where I keep all my long-term backup. I also do some internet backup. But this is not a data backup video, so let's get on with the tour. I also have my scanner, which I don't really use anymore. I'll probably sell because I now have this nifty guy that helps me scan my film. I forget what it's called. Oh, like I said, link to everything in the description. Printer, other guitars. And then my projects that I'm actively working on, projects I need to finish, that you'll see in episodes to come. This is kind of my physical to-do list, anything on this table. And below it also, although this is Gloomhaven. Me and my son like to play this in the summer. It's stowed away in hibernation for the winter during school, but rest assured we will continue the quest when summer comes. Anyway, what else have we got? This place in here is a little scary. I'm not going to show you everything, but I put all my modifiers, tripods here. I also hang film to dry right here. This particular roll has been here for a few weeks. I think it's almost dry, but I'm sure I'll give it a few more days. Yeah, I need to scan that. And then up here we've got, these will be familiar to anybody who have watched my film comparison videos. These are all all the cameras I use to compare film. They're back up there. I'm not going to show you anything else in there. Like I said, it's a little scary. And here on the wall we have my favorite painting. When I was little, I had this in a magazine. I saw this picture and I would just stare at it for hours. I don't know why, I just loved this painting. And really everything by James Christensen, who is my favorite fantasy painter. And my wife surprised me with this a couple of years ago. I don't remember how she found out that I loved this painting, but she got me this print. So that's very special to me. Up top is another new addition. We've got this, if I can get it down. Got this awesome pulley system backdrop. So I can just, rotate this and drop the white continuous backdrop down. Oops, I am going the right way, but I'm not going to bring it down right now. That's great for when we just want to mix it up. We want a white backdrop, or we can bring it all the way down, move the table and the carpet, and make this a continuous kind of setup for photography or whatever. In fact, we just did that last couple days. We've been doing some shooting in here, and that's worked really well. Back here behind the tungsten rim light, we have my beloved Telecaster. Such sweet, sultry tones come from this beautiful body. This is a Japan-made telly, for those of you who know your tellies. And this is, you're familiar with this, is my handmade gear rack. I welded this puppy myself a couple years back. Don't look too closely at the welds or you might be disappointed. Up top we have tripod and stabilizers, my hat collection. Over here we have my Fuji glass. And then down here we have caps and whatnot. DENAE and I's award for our short film about our adoption story. My helmet. I keep it here because I only ride my motorcycle twice a year and I like how it looks. Over here we have my film collection. It's much smaller than it was a while ago. I have my Rollies, which I love, my Rollie 35 collection. Some of these are working, some of them aren't. I plan to fix those that aren't and collect more because they're just so cool. And I have my Nikon FE2s, my favorite film cameras of all time to shoot with. And then we have my Leica M3, my favorite camera of all time to look at. And then, yeah, that's all I want to say. And then we got a little bit of disaster here, tripod heads, brackets and junk. This is sound equipment. And here, these are lens hoods. I keep my lens hoods in here. I don't know why. I should use them, but I don't. People give us a hard time. But they just take up so much space, and yeah. These are my action cams / 360s cams. These are my threaded filters. I keep them in here so they don't collect dust. This is my Canon RP. It's all rigged up for some filming. Then I have the XT Dynasty here, all 3 of the XTs. And then we have this disaster. This is my charging station. Oh boy. What can I say? This is embarrassing. Most people that have studios and talk about them on YouTube have these really nice, neat, and organized charging stations. But I will say this, mine is less of a disaster than it was a week ago. My issue is that I'm always rotating gear, buying and selling different brands of cameras. The only constant is Fuji, but it means I can't set up like a permanent charging zone, or at least that's my excuse. And here I keep like batteries, sensor and lens cleaning supplies, flash, and then LED lighting. Bottom row is just like boxes, modifiers, straps, cables, odds and ends. And my tripod corner, my Manfrotto, my Benro. I don't know where my Benro is. I think it might be in my car still. And this is an acoustic guitar that I never play. It's collecting quite a bit of dust. But anyway, guys, that's it. Let me pull this light over here so I look nice and beautiful for you. Bring the ISO down. Oh boy, oh boy. Yes. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of What's in My Studio. Remember, kindness before cameras, and we'll talk to you again real soon.